is another AFC championship for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. 10th overall for the Patriots, but really the big story is 8 under Belichick and Brady. And they always find a way. They always find a way. Patriots and Eagles, Super Bowl 52, as the Vikings just did not show up. And we spoke about this when I made my picks over the weekend. Case Keenum and the Vikings, yeah, they had that storybook ending against the Saints, and they came out and they looked good for the first quarter and a half against New Orleans. But after that, the play calling was bad. Keenum looked bad, missing wide open. Receivers dropping the ball. Just dumb plays offensively. Defensively, they let New Orleans in the game like that. I mean, Breeze carved them up come crunch time. And that was all at home. I picked 24-13 Philly. I was way off. It was more of a bloodbath than anyone could have ever imagined at 38-7. As Nick Foles not only had the game of his life in a Philly uniform, but the game of his life in an NFL uniform. As Keenum looked bad, Minnesota looked bad, they looked flat. Maybe hungover from all the hoopla surrounding last week's win, but they got creamed. And Jacksonville gave it all they got. And I know New England, they got one penalty. Folks, you know what? Jacksonville's up 10 with 9 minutes to go. Hold the freaking lead. And also, don't get conservative in the second half. I mean, going into halftime, towards the end. They got conservative with their play calling. You got to jump on the throat of the Patriots. You're up 17 with 9 minutes left. You're up 17 with 5 minutes left. It's not enough against Brady and Belichick. Yeah, Jacksonville got penalized. Let me tell you something. They got penalized a lot the week before. You know why? Dumb, inexperienced, young defense. They're good. They're really good. But dumb penalties at time, young, inexperienced. And yeah, the Patriots could have got flagged a little bit more. Only got flagged once. And we're hearing that all this morning. They got flagged once. It's a conspiracy. I'm not going to lie to you. I really don't think Roger Goodell wanted the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl. Can you imagine if it was the Jaguars and the Eagles? And Sports Talk Radio had to talk up the Jags and Nick Foles and the Eagles for 2 weeks? Bortles and Foles. They may have just said, you know what, let's skip the Pro Bowl. We'll play it this week. We're not going to do an entire 2-week thing. But now you're going to have New England in it again. And while Philly's not they're not terrible. But you have a lot of juice with New England. A lot of stuff to talk about. And who knows? I tend to not think and hope that sports isn't fixed and these refs don't blatantly miss calls or flag people because the higher-ups want a certain somebody in the big game. But you're up 10 points with 9 minutes left. You got to close it out. I know you're young. I know you're inexperienced, but you got to close it out. And it's funny because we saw 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks in the conference championship games. Nick Foles, Case Keenum, and Blake Bortles. Will any of them be starting for the team that they got to the conference championship next year? Will Foles be starting for the Eagles? Will Keenum be starting for the Vikings? Will Bortles be starting for the Jags? Now, take Foles out of the equation. Let's go Bortles and Keenum. Which one has a better shot at coming back? I think Bortles. Yeah, he looked terrible the first playoff game against Buffalo. He did not look like an NFL quarterback. I mean, it was brutal. Bad. But to go up against the Steelers and the Patriots and play like he did, turnover-free football at Gillette Stadium in a conference championship game, this guy has turned the page. Doesn't mean that the Jacksonville will not look to upgrade at quarterback. But really, what is out there? Unless they get a Drew Brees type. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about Eli Manning. I think Eli's done. Gotta stop at Eli Manning. Gotta stop. I mean, you put him on a Jacksonville team with a better line, a better overall team. Okay, maybe he'll do better. Eli's no spring chicken. He's not getting any younger. But Tom Coughlin's had Eli Manning before. And next year, does he trust Bortles taking him to another conference championship and even a Super Bowl? Or does he trust making a deal and getting Eli? I think Bortles is the likeliest to come back. Case Keenum, I don't know. He's not a franchise quarterback. He played well this year, but he's not a franchise quarterback. You look at him, he's just not. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's good. You're going to have pieces around him. He's good. But then again, do you think that Teddy Bridgewater is a franchise quarterback? We haven't seen a lot of Bridgewater. He's been injured. Bradford's out of the equation in Minnesota. I know they have three. Technically, you have three quarterbacks in Minnesota. You got Bradford, you have Keenum, you have Bridgewater. They're all free agents. All of them. What do? Tough call in Minnesota. Very interesting offseason in Minnesota. Very interesting offseason. In terms of Philadelphia, there shouldn't be a quarterback controversy. Even if they win, even if they end up winning the Super Bowl, Nick, you know what? You stepped in, did a great job, won us a ring. Wentz is the quarterback of the future, man. And he was having an MVP type season. I don't think that there's a quarterback controversy in Philly. With or without a Super Bowl championship going into next year. Wentz is just too good. Now, I don't know what Foles' contract situation is, but Philly may want to deal him if he's not a free agent. That's if Foles wants to go to a starting job. Maybe he's comfortable with being a backup at this stage. That could mean that they're very deep at quarterback. I like this notion, too, when we were going into the playoffs, that when Wentz went down, Philly was done. Oh, they were going to go out in the first round. Nick Foles has quarterbacked before. I mean, it's not like this guy has never quarterbacked in the National Football League before. I mean, it's not like he's Brandon Whedon. Come on. I thought that was unfair. And you don't think that they're using that as motivation, Philadelphia? You don't think that they're playing out of their minds because of that? People writing them off? People in their own damn city were writing them off. You turn on WIP, you're killing them. Yeah, they're probably done. Maybe they get to the conference game. They'll be bounced there. Come on. They have a good team. They have a real good team. And they have a great coaching staff, too. Doug Peterson brought in an excellent staff. And when you have the players, top to bottom, that are coachable and talent-wise, and you have the coaching staff to go along with it, you're going to go far. And that's what Philly has. Philly has the players. Philly has the coaching. But so does a team called New England. And they've been there before. I think it'll be a good Super Bowl. Now, Brady and Foles, you automatically think, oh, overmatched. Don't think so. This game is not going to be a blowout. It's going to come down to the wire like every New England Super Bowl does. That's why, while I'm upset Jacksonville lost, I was rooting so hard. I hate the Patriots. Patriots are money. Patriots get you ratings. Patriots give you great moments. Patriots give you good football games on a big stage. And you'll get that in 2 weeks in Minnesota. Pat Shurmur, going to be the new coach of the Giants. Maybe this week. Are the Giants jumping the gun? Should they wait until after the Super Bowl? Or are they convinced they have their guy? We'll talk about that next. Sorry, on a podcast.